Hello everyone, we are back for another wonderful episode of Our Art Podcast. It's your main man Deggy in the interviewing chair today, and we are here with my good friend Becky J. Field. How's it going, mate? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm good.
Brill. Well,
not nervous at all.
Oh, stop
just
it.
Gonna do it.
It's fine. You're just
sorted.
having a natter with your mate Deggy. It's all good.
Jeez,
but yeah, it's great to get you on here because you've been up to some cool things this year, and we're going to delve all into that and unload it all and stuff. But yeah, before we get to that, do you just want to tell us a little bit about your background and stuff and whatnot, and then what
my
brought
whole
you?
life?
If you want, we can, and then just like essentially like what's your practice and all that, and then what brought you to 1853 and all that, and then we will
get on to
commence after that.
Okay. So, yeah, my background's teaching, actually. So, or graphic design. Let's go even further back. So, I always knew I wanted to be a graphic designer from the age of 10. Don't ask me why. Or I don't even know where that concept came from. But that's what I pursued all the time. So, I went to art college and I went to university, and that's what I pursued. And I think I lasted about a year in graphic design.
Fair.
Because I just thought it's a bit boring, to be honest. It was a bit boring for me. But there's a lot of graphics in the work that I do anyway.
Yep.
And then after that year, I got the opportunity to learn, to train as a teacher. And they wouldn't let me do both in this company, the first company I worked for. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just go and do it then. I'll just go and do this teaching. But fortunately, they gave me a part-time job.
Oh, brilliant.
Which was really handy. And then I stayed. They couldn't get rid of me for about 14 years at Stockport College. And I just stayed. And I did entry 3, level 1, level 2, and a little bit of level 3 in art design and media. And then, and then left education after 18 years.
What was the reason for leaving? Did you feel like you fancied a change, or...?
Was it? I needed a change. I think I needed a change.
Fair.
There was a difference. There was a difference. I loved teaching. I loved the kids. I loved what I was doing. I loved everything about it. It was the red tape and the bollocks that most teachers, sadly, leave because of. It's never the job of teaching. So I needed a bit of time out, but that time out's lasted 9 years. Nice. I've had my own business for 9 years now. So, So how did I come to 1853? I came on an open day.
Amazing.
And typical style of Becky, it'd be like, want it? Want it? Gonna have it. Gonna get it now. And then my fella is very calm, and he's like, just take your time. Don't jump into anything. So I came again for the next open day, and then I was all in.
Yeah, sweet.
I was all in. Loved it. Just loved the vibe. I loved the fact that it was an artist community. I wanted to bring more creativity back into my world because I got stagnant in business, working as a business coach. And I fell into that. I have to be honest, I fell into that. And I was successful, but it was never my heart, never my passion. So getting the opportunity to come and do more creative coaching in an environment that is creative is just amazing. So
that's lovely, that. And I think like you just touched upon a few key points there that I really pride us on, and that's the creative community there. Like, you came to a couple of open days and you knew you wanted to be a part of it. And I just think like the amount of people in here that can just work together to create cool things and just get that buzz going, because I felt the same when I came here for the first time and I just met people and whatnot. I was just, I've got to be a part of this community. And I still buzz off it now, like from being a studio resident for 2.5 years until taking the role I took now. And it's just, every day is something different. It's always lovely. And I always love the fact if someone just comes, I've got this idea, it's like, right, let's get the kettle on, let's talk it through, let's make it work, which is the next thing, like an idea. I remember you came to me probably like, it was around March time or something, a good few months ago. And I just remember you were just like, Deggy, I'm not an artist, but I really want to do an exhibition. And I'm like, right, I love this. Like, this is great. But what you've done there is you've created a beautiful body of work.
Thank you.
In Unseen, and I genuinely mean that. Like, the body of work you've created is, it tells a story through life through there, and I know that's what it's about and whatever, but I think you've really managed to capture that. And I think the way you've left marks in your work, like mark making, is very impactful.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing in there. So
Thank
do you want to just tell us a little bit about the show and let's break it down a little bit.
Okay, so it's called Unseen because, you know, when you're in business, you're everywhere, aren't you? People used to say to me, "You're everywhere, Becky," you know, and I'd think, "Oh, thanks." You know, I'd found it as a compliment because I worked bloody hard to get everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, etc. But when something happens in life and you're supposed to be a responsible adult,
get rid of
and
that.
get your shit together, have your shit together as a coach, that's why it's called Unseen. So some of this, you know, something happened about 20 months ago, and it was all literally behind the scenes, and it's kind of like, how do you hold this business together while you're dealing with this shit? So this shit you said I could swear.
Yeah, go for it.
This unearthed trauma that was like 19 years old, and you just think, this is ridiculous. And the amount of work I've done on myself over years, so that's why the start of the exhibition is where the incident, whatever it was, happened. You know, and then you think, okay, there has been a massive journey over the last 20 months to heal from that. And as a coach in the public eye, which is what I was, you know, quite well known in Cheshire, it was really hard to seem as if the business is successful still whilst I'm dealing with all this. So that's why it's called Unseen. And I've always found that creativity heals me. Full stop. You know, when my mum and dad died, I just got my head down and did holograph printing, you know, and it's just that way of just going inside and going, okay, what needs to happen here? But the journey of Unseen is the fact that I reached out to 4 people, there are my tattoos on here, 4 people who helped me heal from this process of trauma. And so when you see the little shoes, the little kiddie shoes around the exhibition, it's because, you know, even as a 50-year-old, you know, I'm not proud of this, I went back into that childlike behaviours of thinking that nobody likes me or I'm not good enough, that childlike thinking. And, of course, it's all part of trauma. It's all part of it. So it's about the growth and then coming back to myself. So when you see, as you walk round and you see the ball pit with the unicorn and Tigger and stuff like that, you know, my art, my creativity now is all about bringing people back to that child and remembering who I was when I was doing art clubs on a Saturday with my auntie. You know,
Lovely.
Remember who I was. That's me inherently, not this whatever it is in the business world that you have to perform to. And you know what? Such a bloody freedom. Such a freedom to go, right, this is me. So I said this morning to somebody, that exhibition for me is my stake. That's my claim.
Amazing.
This is who I am now, you know. So
and that's it. Like, you've always got to do things by your own rules.
Yeah.
And I always look at it like with my band, for example, we're fortunate to have a fairly decent following wherever we go. But for me, I make music for myself.
Yeah.
And if people like that, then wonderful.
Yeah.
If they don't like that, then I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, if I don't enjoy it, what's the point in doing it in a way? And I think, like, looking at your exhibition there, because there's a lot going on in there. You've got some lovely paintings in there, which I didn't see until we were hanging it on Monday. And I was just looking at something like, this is really, really nice. And then, like, there's a couple of things that really stand out to me in that. And, like, you told me a bit about it. It's the bench.
Yeah.
Do you want to just explain a little bit about the bench? Because I thought it was quite deep and quite powerful, like what you've done with it.
I know. I mean, I do think deeply. There's a, you know, everyone's heard of Donna Ashworth. If they haven't done, you know, what she said something which I think is, you know, ages ago I met her in person and she sort of like said, I naturally run dark. And I thought, do you know what? My thoughts are quite dark at times. So, and I don't hide that now. But the bench itself, you know, I always say, you know, because I'm in a coach and I'm there in the helping profession, it's kind of like the expectation is that I'm okay, right? So when the shit hit the fan with me and I didn't have anything to give people, I wasn't able to coach at times. And ethically, I wouldn't coach. then nobody was, that's how it felt, that nobody was sitting with me, because the expectation was Becky's okay. And I wasn't okay, you know? So where it says, will you sit with me, is the fact, will you sit with me? You know, I was looking for people who I suppose, wrongly expected to be sitting with me during those times, and they were nowhere to be seen. And I know that's life, and I'm not going,
Yeah.
but I think that's where it really hit home, that actually what I had and my expectations was, that was the business, that wasn't me personally. And that in itself led me to change my name, my business name, from Westfield Coaching into Becky J Field Creative, because I think for me, it was like people have forgotten that actually behind that business is a human being.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've changed my name to my name.
Yeah. Just about taking it back, really, isn't it? And just regaining control of what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah. So, my little rats, they were supposed to be paper mache.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those.
My little rats are the ones that, you know, I had nothing to give. So I know you know, the rats are people running away because I had no food left to give. So, yeah, it's quite dark, but it's reality.
No, but that's it. It's important, like, because there is a lot of darkness that goes through everyone's minds and stuff. And it's like, if you're a creative, you're going to channel that in some ways, whether that is visual art, songwriting, or film, whatever. I don't know. Like, and it's just everything in that gallery space, just, it means something. And at the end of it, there's the big girl shoes there walking out, like, I found myself now going out. And I just love that. The last minute thing, and it was there, it was like, have you got a comment box or something? And I was just like, Becky, just get a bin.
Yeah,
I thought any comments, put it in the bin.
Yeah, I thought that was superb. I mean, to be honest, that's probably the best bit of the exhibition.
Oh, stop it. Don't.
But I thought it was absolutely brilliant, because that's the truth, you know. I said to you, didn't I, as we were putting it up, I've done this exhibition for me and only me. Amazing. To say that this is, you know, this is the truth. This is the truth behind what goes on in business, what goes on in the reality of, you know, I'm going to say it, you know, when people start spouting women supporting women, and this is probably going to get a real bad debate on, but, you know, the truth of it is not everybody supports each other. Nope. And my experience is that was a load of shite.
No, it is, and it's one of them, like, there's plenty of people from my past that I've considered to be good friends, and there's a lot of jealousy around them people, and it's just like, you're meant to support your friends, you're meant to, like, encourage everyone, and everyone should have each other's back with stuff and whatnot, but you do get some very bitter people when it comes to things that don't like to see others do well and whatnot.
Or just notice that someone's not there.
Yeah.
You know, that's the amazing thing. I think, you know, I was part of a networking group for 6 years, you know, invested monthly for 6 years, and to be not noticed, maybe it's the grandiosity of me thinking, oh, well, surely I would have been noticed to not be there. But I just think when you've invested so much of your time into a particular network, to not be noticed is hard, really. So I make it my aim, I suppose, from now, always to notice those people who feel uncomfortable. Yeah. You know, always. I've always have done anyway, because they're my people, really. Yeah.
And it's one of them, it's easy to look past that. And I know everyone does. And I know it's only a little thing, and it might be going off subject a little bit, but the one that springs to mind for me is every morning when I come to work, I'll always nip to Aldi at the top of the road, and there's a lovely homeless guy, John, who's always outside there, and I always have a chat with him for a couple of minutes every day, ask him if he wants out, I'll get him a coffee and whatnot, and we just talk about sport and whatnot. And just because he's sat at a door like that, people just look past him. They don't see him as a person and stuff. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, when everyone's just stood there, it doesn't matter what your background is. We're all equal.
We are, absolutely. And we never, ever know what's going on with somebody.
No, not
at all. You know, I remember, you know, you just don't know. I remember when I was teaching, they did this amazing exercise where we were, as teachers, we stood around in a circle, and I do it sometimes in my retreats, and we were giving people a Coke bottle, right? And they say, what could have happened to the student before they've even got to college this morning? So the teacher would go, oh, they probably had a row with the mum, or, you know, then you pass it on. And everyone had something that a child or a person, you know, could be adults, couldn't it, has experienced before you've even met them in that morning. And then the facilitator said, right, take the lid off. And none of us would. You know, so you imagine going into a situation and you give it, you know, as a teacher, you sort of like condemn them for being late or something like that. And all of a sudden there's a massive explosion. Yeah. And my lesson there was, you know, you never know what any of us, regardless of age, have gone through that day, that moment, that week, that month, that year. Yeah. You know, and I think that's the bit about being unseen. Yeah. You know, is we'd never know. That this is, you know, when people walk in. I mean, I've had people who know my experience over the last 20 months, and when they're reading my writing, you know, that I've done, which is part of my book, hopefully, that's upcoming, you know, they're in tears, but they know exactly what I've been through. And I just think, because it's all unseen. Yeah. Until now.
You've got to think with it, though, like, as you're saying there, there's like 20 years of emotion and tales that have gone into this. Yeah. So, like, looking after this, like, you've done this show now. Yeah. Is this the final part of the healing process for you? Or
the book?
The book will be that.
Because I was meant to have it done.
Yeah. Do you want to say a bit more about the book?
No,
when's
I do not.
When's it coming out? Becky, don't be like that. Don't shoot me down.
It's going to be...
I'm trying to plug your book here.
So my book, I was originally going to have it ready, cool. Obviously for the exhibition. It's mostly written. Amazing. There's more to come, and it is around emotions. It's not a self-help book. It's really about my feelings and the feelings of emotions. So it just, and I think everyone can identify with that. Whether we talk about it or not is a different matter. But I do talk about a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have done, you know.
But it's good to.
It is. I think it's good to. So I will now aim for October the 10th, which is World Mental Health Day, and we'll go for that. And I've already got somebody ready to get it sorted for me.
Well, that's a really good target to have as well. And it's like, I know the exhibition's up now, the book launch won't be too far away. And I think it makes sense we just do a little event here and whatnot. And
that'll be like full circle. Well, January 2027 will be 2 years. Yeah. But I think, do you know what? I'm not waiting till that long. No. So this, for me, I said to somebody, this is my full stop. Fantastic. With the exhibition. And then... maybe this little... What do they have at the end of a book? An epilogue. Is it an epilogue? What do they have at the end of a book?
Yeah.
Epilogue.
You was asking quite a dyspraxic person there about reading. It's not really a strong point of mine. But I'll go with it. Yeah, an epilogue.
I was looking over there for some cleverness. Because I'm like, what? Yeah, so the book launch could be the epilogue, and then let's close the book.
Yeah, and then start the next chapter.
Absolutely.
Defo.
Yeah.
Brill. Well, it's been wonderful delving into that with you. The show's great. It's up for another week.
It is.
So, if you can't make it down, make sure to have a look on our Instagram page. Yeah. There's some reels and photos on there, and make sure to check out Becky's work. Where can people find you, Becky?
They can find me on LinkedIn. Usually that's more coaching than anything else, but it'll be Instagram and Becky J Field on Facebook and Becky J Field Creative on Instagram. And then obviously I've got my website, which is beckyjfield.co.uk.
Amazing. Yeah. So thank you for sitting down with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you again. I'm going to say this publicly for all your support and the support of 1853 to get me up and running.
But we're proud of you.
No,
we are. No, you've had an idea. You had a vision with it, and it was deeply personal to you. Yeah. And you came to us presented us with this idea, and it was like, no, this sounds lovely. Let's do it. And the fact that you've knocked it out the park. You had a really nice launch event the other day, and people really cared about what you do. And it was just, it's nice to see it all unfold and stuff. And you've absolutely nailed it. And it was just the fact that stayed with me. It's like, I don't consider myself an artist, but I want to do this. I'm like, I love that drive. Yeah. And Yeah, no, it's been beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
So no,
Thanks a
thank you
lot.
very much.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.
See ya.